There is a quiet frustration that appears when we try to learn something new. You study, you practice, you show up, and yet it feels like nothing is changing. Progress feels invisible. Motivation fades and slowly doubt begins to grow. Tonight on St. John on Air, I want to talk about something essential, but often overlooked. The ability to see your own progress. Because without it, even meaningful growth can feel like standing still. Learning rarely feels like a straight line. Psychologist Anders Ericsson, known for his research on deliberate practice, showed that improvement often happens gradually and through sustained effort. You don't always feel yourself getting better right away, but change is happening. The challenge is this: our brain looks for clear, immediate evidence of progress, and when it does not find it, it can assume nothing is changing. That's where motivation begins to fade. Psychologist Teresa Amabile found that one of the strongest drivers of motivation is something called the progress principle. When we notice even small progress, our motivation increases. When progress is unclear, motivation can drop, even if we are improving. This means motivation doesn't always come first. It is often reinforced by visible progress. I experienced this clearly with running. At the beginning, it didn't feel like progress. It felt like effort. Short distances, heavy breathing, slow pace. There was a strong temptation to compare myself to others. Faster runners, different bodies, different starting points. But instead of comparing, I started tracking something else, my own progression. Slightly longer distances, less fatigue, faster recovery, consistent effort. Over time, something changed. The progress became visible, and with that visibility, motivation followed. Psychologist Festinger explained that we naturally compare ourselves to others, but comparison often distorts reality. It ignores different starting points, different conditions, different timelines. What looks like someone else's normal may be the result of years of work. Real motivation comes from comparing yourself to your past self, not someone else's present. Seeing progress in different areas is crucial. For example, learning maths. Progress isn't always visible day to day. Psychologist Robert Bjork explains that effective learning often feels effortful, even when it's working. To see progress, revisit all the problems, notice increased understanding, track what you can now solve. And when you learn a language? Well, language learning can feel slow. Linguist Stephen Krashen explains that language acquisition often develops gradually and is not always consciously noticed. To see progress, notice words you can now recognize, follow conversations more easily, reflect on past difficulty. And what about sports? Psychologist Albert Bandura showed that confidence grows through repeated mastery experiences. Track endurance, consistency, technique, recovery, not just results. So how to stay motivated? You may begin with tracking small wins. Make progress visible. Write things down. Reflect weekly. Notice small changes. Next, focus on process. Psychologist Carol Dweck shows that focusing on effort and learning supports long-term growth. Ask, am I improving? Not, am I good? You may also try reducing the time horizon. Behavior scientist B.J. Fogg emphasizes small steps. Focus on one action, not the final goal. And finally, try to build identity. Author James Clear emphasizes that repeated action builds identity. Each time you show up, you reinforce, I am someone who improves. Progress often feels invisible in the moment, but visible in reflection. That's why looking back matters. You don't need to move fast. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up and learn to notice what is changing. Because motivation doesn't come from big results. It comes from small, repeated proof that you are moving forward. And you are, even when it doesn't feel like it. Good night, my friend, and good luck.